over that table. Yeah! Yeah.
That's a big bass right there, baby.
We got him. Dude, barely had him hooked. Barely had him hooked. That was what's going on YouTube. Today I'm going to share with you guys an angler development trip that I had just this past week, where I actually got to utilize a little tip that my dad gave me years and years ago, and I'm going to share it with you here. This is going to help you a lot when fish are like they are right now. They're in a little stage where they're in between everything. They're not really spawning. They're not really during the post spawn. They're not really stacked up on the summer stuff really good. And it's the way I've used to catch fish all the time once you get to the latter part of the spring, what I call like the pre-post spawn. I'm gonna leave a link in the description box for a lot of the equipment that we used here. That way you can go straight to it. If you want to buy it, you can. Appreciate you watching. Check out this video.
Good example, if y'all can see what we're fishing. Any of these little light and dark spots that you can see, it's probably hard to see. I wish I could put a pair of wide-leg sunglasses on top of my camera here. See if it works. I don't think it'll work. But any of these little light and dark spots is where the fish spawn at. And what we're doing is just blind casting to any of this little stuff that we see. Get on these shallow flats, shallow little bars. We're just fan casting to them with that fatties. And we're catching spawning fish, some that are cruising, post spawn fish. There's a little bit of everything all out on all these flats.
Come on now. Make the count up to 65. We only need 65 once you get in here.
Is it 60? Oh, yeah, you're right, 65. I was about to say, no, 64. We got 60.
Oh, down, big dog.
Pretty nice spotted bass.
Don't even think about it there, buddy.
I knew there was one around here. Like, it can't be not a fish in this gap like that. Cool.
Good one, too.
Look at it. See, that's herring. That's the herring. See, that's what these fish feed on. Yeah, kind of gross.
A little bit.
Little blueback herring that they're feeding on. He's a little bit digested. You can see his guts coming out, but that's all right. But that's the elusive bluebacks right there.
That's pretty. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir. That's it. Right where you see where it turns from orange to green, or right where you can't see the bottom anymore, that's about where you want to start making your cast from now on. Kind of okay. This is the one time where I would say it's okay to go ahead and throw it. If you see a dark spot, to go ahead and throw it directly on it, because you kind of want to surprise him, because he's sitting there in the shade, and all of a sudden something just goes whoop, you know. Instead of it sneaking up behind him, he's like, wait, where are you going? But like, it just comes right in front of him. Probably gonna be a little bit more likely to bite it, maybe. Just your fish are gonna hang out right about where you can't see the bottom anymore. You know, and that's what I'm talking about with these little dark. You see all this dark right here? See all that? That's like dead leaves, and those little places, those little dark places, that's what makes them feel like they're hid. You see that? See that right there? About long in there where you want to be. If you catch way up there, you're probably not going to catch anything way up there. So basically, anywhere that you have a light or dark spot, a bass will sit down in any of those little inconsistencies on the bottom, and that makes him feel hid. It makes him feel comfortable. A lot of times the fish will actually spawn on those light and dark spots, because a bass always likes to spawn beside something. Most likely. If they can't, they won't. If they can spawn beside something, they will. If they don't have anything to actually spawn beside, it could be just a little twig, it can be a little can on the bottom, it can be one rock, it could be anything that's a little different. If they can't do that, the next option seems to always be a light or dark spot. I think that makes them feel more comfortable. I'm not really sure what it is, but I know that's what they do. 15.
Oh, wow. We're just straight fishing honey holes at this point. All right. Nah, man. Real talk, though. I really appreciate you doing this for me, man.
Get one there, bro.
Get one, buddy.
Yeah, that's a big one. Oh, that's all good. Throw up there and catch one. You throw that TRD, you'll catch one, I promise you. Alright. Coming to the back of the boat and all this foolishness. Throwing out on them points, man. Like grabbing him behind the head like that. Dude, he's got it choked. Showing him a nasty fish. That's still a pretty healthy one anyway.
Absolutely.
I can't take that, you know.
Oh, nice, man. That's a good one, brother. Really like something going on, man.
And my drag like singing wide open.
Beautiful sound. You got a grown man on his knees, sweetheart.
I know, right?
Oh, that's pretty, man. That's a good fish, man.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent one right there.
Nice.
See old spawned out spotted bass?
Dude, that's easily 8 to 10 pounds.
8 to 10 pounds, I think, right? That's fun. I love catching them like that.
That's awesome.
They're not as fat this time of the year like they are January and February.
Right.
But they're still pretty. There's one.
Set that hook, baby. Yeah, buddy.
I like that guy. Wait. Look at all the fish with that fish, dude. Drop your bait down there, please. Oh my God, there's like 30 of them with it. Dude, look at all those fish.
Oh,
my
man.
God, please hurry.
I'm trying, man.
Anything. Look at all of them. Oh my God,
dude. And of course, it's wrapped up, dude.
Dude, there's like 40 fish down there with that fish. I'm gonna open the bill and let him run a little bit. Oh my God. Dude, just take. I'll just open my bill and just let it run. Dude, there are so many fish out there. That is incredible. I took my other rod and let it. Look, they're still with him. They're still with him, dude. That's unbelievable. You see all of them? Look at all those fish. They're trying to get the bait out of his mouth. Unfreaking believable. Dude, there was like literally 7 or 8 fish with that one.
Oh man, come on, baby. That's crazy, dude. And that's a good sized fish.
Dude, there was so many of them. Come back here, boy.
Oh,
There you go.
that's nice, man.
Alright. You put that fatties in your hand with that
Oh yeah, dude.
TRD, or I'm throwing the fatties, but the fatties, man, you're gonna catch fish.
Yeah, I'm about to have a stop at the bellows and all.
Man, got another one.
Golly.
Just throw it up there. Up there pretty shallow. That's not as big of a one right there. Smaller. He didn't bring. Oh, it's not that bad. It's no smaller than the rest of them.
Oh, that's a nice fish too.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's probably one of the.
That's the biggest one today.
That's probably one of the better ones. There, he's got that drag singing now. He's got the drag singing now. I'm telling you, dude, there's no better bait than that fatties on a jig head. When fishing gets tough, they're not really doing. Look at this herring he's throwing
Oh, the herring
up.
coming out, yeah.
Yeah, he's throwing up that meat. Too much line, Al. Oh. Look how pretty that fish is, man. Dude, that thing is so gorgeous. Look at the markings on that thing. Oh my God, that's pretty unreal. Green pumpkin blue fatties. 1 6-ounce jig head. catching some of these little chunky post-spawn spots. It's just a perfect bait, man. Like, I don't know how else to tell you. Like, it's, show y'all how to rig the fatties. I'm using, this is a 1/6 ounce Power Finesse Shrooms head, and just a green pumpkin blue fatties, just a fancy stick bait. What I'm going to do is I'll just take it in, just thread it on like you would a normal, any type of shaky head style bait. Pull the plastic up over the barb. What I do, I got some real tricky stuff. You've never seen this before. Super glue. Way back to school, and y'all just put a dot on there. I think a little bit just got in my beard. Push it up on there, hold it for a second. Push it back in, and that's it. That's all we're fishing. That's a small one. That's a small one there. I can tell by the way he bit.
Ooh, bigger.
Maybe not, huh? Maybe not that small.
He's just a little lazy in there.
He bit like he was small. Dude, this 6 stick 7-1, it is such a good rod for this. I've always used the jackhammers, but here recently I started using this 6 stick just to like cast around baits like this with, where you need a little bit more backbone. The jackhammer is sort of like a little rubber band rod. It's good for wacky rig, any kind of open hook stuff, mid rigs.
Right.
The 6 stick is sick.
Yeah, dude, I love this thing. How much you say this was? Like 300?
No, that rod is, I don't know, it's maybe 120 bucks.
Oh, that's not bad.
Now that was a little chunky.
Ooh.
He's a little chunkier.
Nice, dude.
I like that. That setup just gets bites, man. Like, and look how pretty they are, dude. Look, see all those, the markings on them are just perfect this time of the year. After getting that good sun. Pretty little fish.
So if you want to do this style of fishing on your home body of water, here's a couple tips that I want to give you. I'll almost always look for the clearest water available on any given reservoir. So you're gonna almost always concentrate towards the lower portion of your reservoir or lake or river or whatever. Find the clearest water. Here's a second tip. You guys have to have a really good pair of polarized sunglasses. Being able to see what you're doing is seeing all the different little differentiate all the different bottom contours and the bottom differences, clay to sand, sand to clay, rock to pebble, boulders. You got to be able to see those little inconsistencies on the bottom, so you have to have a good pair of sunglasses. I use Wiley X sunglasses, of course. I think they're the best polarized sunglasses on the market, but you have to have a good set of polarized sunglasses to be able to see everything you need to see. Here's another tip. I almost always like to keep my boat fairly close to the bank, and what I like to do is kind of position my boat almost to where when you look at the bottom, you can see right where you can't see the bottom of the lake. That's where I want to place my boat, and I'm going to actually cast parallel down the bank because that keeps my bait in the strike zone longer. So, and as I'm fishing, I also like to be able to look to my left or to my right, and if I see one that's on bed, I can keep my eye on him as well and pick him off as I'm fishing for those blind casting for those fish that are bedding and they're cruising down the bank. So boat position is real important, so I like to place my boat a little bit closer than I normally would during the rest of the year. That lets me see any of those inconsistencies, see those changes on the bottom. I can also see a bass if he's actually bedding, because there's still going to be a few just left around on the bank. So boat position is going to be real important. I'm going to keep it close, and I'm going to watch and be really aware of what's around me. He's right. He went right to it. You can just let it sit there for a second. You don't have to do anything really. See him turning around and doing 360s. That's a pretty daggum good fish too. You shake it a little bit now. Oh, I think he got it. He got you.
Yeah, buddy.
That is a giant. Dude, that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Oh,
All right,
man.
now when he gets up here, he's gonna want to run and act. Okay.
Huh?
He's gonna want to act, so don't rush him. You know, just take your time. He's gonna surge. Make sure your drag set. He's gonna surge. Oh, he come off! He come off. Dang. That was a good one, man.
Oh, man.
So we've been fishing out on the main lake, and we just decided to come in some of the pockets and start fishing, flipping some of this dog fennel. Those bass the largemouth are bedding in the holes in this little grass. We call it grass. It's actually dog fennel, and you can kind of sight cast in the little holes, and you can blind cast way down the bank and catch some of the largemouth. So as soon as we pull in the pocket, Joe's already caught two up here. I broke one off and lost one out of negligence. So there's definitely some fish to be caught in some of this grass too. That one twig right there, that's the spot.
Gotcha.
Yeah, let's let it sink right there. Right now you're gonna want to just watch. You're gonna see him. He'll turn over. He'll turn sideways when he tries to look at it. Like his eyes are on top of his head, so to look at it, he's got to turn his body all the way, like his whole body's got to turn.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
He's got it. He's got it. Oh, I got to get you over there.
Oh, shit.
It's okay. Just hold him tight.
I got it.
You don't fall in. See
I'll
him
be all
down
right. Hey, I'm not letting go of the fish. That's all I know.
Yeah, you're good. All right, now. There you go. You got him, boss. Just pull him up here. Got him. Grab the line if you can, because we're about to get away. There you go. Got him. Got that little greasy sucker. Bedders are fun, dude. Same bait, but here's the deal. We're fishing the same bait we've been fishing. Catching them on the fatties. Now we're sight fishing for them. That's a good one, man.
Yeah, it is.
Real
man.
good one. Little buck bass guarding the beds. What I love about this time of year. There's so much going on. They're on the beds, they're on points, they're on the pockets, everything in between. Got him, Joe?
Got him.
Got him?
Yep.
Awesome, my man. Dude, they're loaded up on that place, and it's shallow. I'm gonna throw over there where I guarantee you there's more with it. 'Cause it already looked like there was other shallows with that one. It is a baby?
Yeah, it's got some fight.
Yeah, spots bite. They're not about that pussyfoot. None with that one, I don't think.
Wow. Really wanted that one.
You got it choked? You gonna need pliers?
Yeah, probably need the pliers on that one.
This is the Abu Garcia STX size 30, 15-pound test smackdown braid, and this is the favorite 6-stick that I'm using. 7 foot 1 inch, medium heavy action. That rod is just perfect for that. I like a rod that has a little bit more backbone when I'm throwing a shaky head style bait, and that's what we're using here. You like that setup, Brad?
Yes.
Cool.
So right now on Lake Hartwell, you got fish in about every stage of the spawn possible. There are fish that are still spawning. There's a lot of bucks garden fry on the beds. There's a lot of females that have finished spawning. They're just kind of still lingering around the banks. They're gonna hang around. I think the spawn is gonna be a lot more drawn out this year. We have high water. There's a lot of bank cover around everywhere you go, so there's a lot of habitat, especially for largemouth. It's gonna be a great year for the spawn. So you got fish. Long story short, there's fish in all stages of the spawn, post spawn. That makes fishing really difficult because there's a little bit, they're not ganged up anywhere. There's fish spread throughout the entire ecosystem, so that can make fishing a little difficult.
Hook. Barely had him hooked. That was one of the ones, he was on bed. I flipped in there a couple times with my spinning rod and broke the line. And finally got my bait caster out with 50-pound test smackdown braid. Threw the same bait in there, the same fatties that I've been fishing on the spinning rod, put it on a bait caster, went in there and got him. Got him. That's a nice 3.5 pounder, I see. Really good fish. Bed fishing is awesome. Awesome. So that shows you there's so much stuff going on in the cart right now. We've caught them on the herring spawn. We've caught them just blind casting to spotted bass on dark spots. We've caught fish on the bed. Caught them just about every way imaginable today. Let this baby go.
It's all
Cool.
good.
All right, here we go. We'll go right back to the bed. All right, y'all. So we're done. Joe and I, we had a really good day today. Shoot, did we catch 70? Our goal was 70 today. There's a story behind that, but I think we caught 70.
I think we came close.
No, we didn't probably catch 70, but we definitely caught at least 30 or 40 today. Man, it's easy fishing. The fish are kind of in between right now. Not a lot left on the beds, not a lot already on the summer stuff, not a lot on the herring spawn or shad spawn, so they're in between. It can be kind of tough this time of year, just casting around that fatties, little dark spots, caught a few on beds, just fishing, man, like just picking an area, slowing down, fishing, being aware of what we're around. Caught a few fish off beds. You caught first sight fish today, right?
First sight fish, baby.
First sight fish. That's cool, man. So y'all wait for the next video. It's been a lot of fun. Leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know how you like these guide trip videos. Hit me up if you want to book a trip sometime this summer. We're out.
Peace.
Peace.